Oops, sorry about that, knocking the camera around. Hey guys, hope everybody had a good Christmas holiday or whatever holiday it is that you celebrate. I hope it was a great one. It is the day after Christmas. It's the 26th, so Monday. Getting back out here and starting to look at some stuff, and I just pulled a Star Wars board out of the queue. This was actually an expedited repair, so I'm getting right to this. So, Star Wars. Well, let's hook this thing. I actually got it all hooked up, and I did fire it up once already, and it doesn't do anything. So I'll show you that, and we will systematically just kind of go over this thing, knowing that it's not doing anything. I'll tell you exactly what my plan of attack on this is, and it's going to be, obviously I'm going to separate the boards. I always like to start by checking the software, dumping all of the software and checking that it's good. Quick, just in the quick eyeballing of the board, make sure there's nothing obviously busted, broken traces, any of that kind of stuff. We can do RAM checks. I got the Inquisitor, so we can put all of those in the Inquisitor, all the RAM chips. And I tried put it into test and everything. It doesn't do anything. There's no life, no signs of life on this at all. So that'll be the first type stuff. We'll inspect the interconnect, make sure that none of those card edges are damaged, and kind of go from there. Verify that all of the socketed stuff is decent and ready to go. I can actually look at these sockets because these are those single wipe type sockets, and I like to get under the microscope and look at the sockets and make sure there's no broken pins, because sometimes those little contacts, they fold over, and sometimes they crack and just do this, and they have to be replaced if they do that. So I'll inspect those sockets really good, clean the board up a little bit, and yeah, that'll be the first step. But let me go ahead, I'll show you what this is doing. I'll hook it up to the little scope. We'll fire it up. I've already set my voltages right, so I've got a good 5 volts on both boards and everything like that. So we'll go ahead and fire it up. I'll show you a little scope. Maybe we'll put the logic probe or something on the no, I can't. Not with that soundboard. I could remove the soundboard. We'll wait until I get it laid out on the bench before we start probing around. Just kind of preliminarily show you what it's doing. It's not doing anything, and we'll go from there. So let's jump right into it. Okay, got the set standing up here, and I got it over onto this guy right here. So I'll go ahead and reach over and fire it up. Oh, all right. You can hear the static. So we got a line and static, and I'll go ahead and throw this switch and hit reset. See, it doesn't do anything. There's no reset. It's just completely dead. So let me go ahead, remove the interconnect, kind of lay the boards out. I'll just take the soundboard, put the soundboard to the side for now. We don't even need the soundboard. Let's get this thing to where it's running, and then we'll worry about sound. So let's put the 2 main boards down, connect them up. That way we can start doing a little inspecting, probing. You know what? I'm not even going to do that now. First thing I'm going to do is go over the RAMs, check all the RAM chips, dump all of the software, that kind of stuff I always do. Verify everything's good before I move forward. One thing I noticed right off the get-go when removing these EEPROMs, the program ROMs, they came out super easy. I mean, it's like there were no grip to them at all in these sockets. And like I said, these are those single wipe sockets. And generally, if these are in good shape, I've never really had much of a problem with these sockets. But the problem with them is they get damaged really easily. And just by the feel of how they came out of these sockets, I know that something's not right with these sockets. And if you look, you should not be able to see daylight. You should not be able to see down through these. And, man, I can't. They should go all the way to the outside. And I don't know if you can see that or not. I can clearly see it under my magnifier. You can see the gap between the pin and the outside. Like, see this one right here? You can see the actual trace underneath it, kind of, maybe. You can see right down through these. It's hard to see. The bottom line is these sockets are damaged. The pins are pushed in. Like this whole side. That pin should go all the way to the right side, and you should not see that black shadow. I hope this comes out better than it is on the viewfinder, because it's day and night difference when I'm looking at it underneath my magnifying glass. The bottom line is I don't like these sockets, and this row of sockets needs to be replaced. I think all the other ones are going to be okay, but for sure these ones just do not feel good. They just don't have a good grasp on the EEPROMs. This one seemed to be okay. I need to clean this board. It's really dusty and dirty. Look at the dirt that's kind of piled up right there. So yeah, this thing will get a good cleaning. I want to replace the capacitors, because I've had these capacitors that Atari used on these boards leak. I've seen those leak. So I'm going to replace all of the electrolytics on both boards, on all the boards. So we'll do that. Replace this row of sockets. And is there supposed to be a cap right here? There was one there, I think. Huh. There was a cap there that was cut out. Yeah, okay, anyway, yeah. These gotta go. Alright, just getting through with desoldering those, and I'll use my soldering iron to pick the remainder of the pins out. But looking at the CPU as well, if you can see that pin right there, if you can see that, that one is bad right there. It's pushed in. These are all pretty nasty. Dirty, a little corroded. Yeah. So that's going to have to get replaced too. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these. This looks okay, I believe. This one will clean up okay. Yeah, that one looks okay. This one's no good. let's go ahead and replace that guy. And then I'll clean the boards up. Okay, sockets are replaced. And you can see I got a fluxy mess left over, which now I'm going to go wash the board. But yeah, I had to reconnect these. It had that hack done on it to where that you do for Empire Strikes Back. But then the hack was deconverted, so I just removed the wires and put solder blob across the connections. So now I'll go clean this up really good, wash the board really good, and move on from there. Start looking at some chips. All right, the old Inquisitor comes through again, testing all of these RAMs, and this time I actually Sharpied the position on the boards, because if there was one bad, I want to know what circuit it's in, and this one is no good. Okay. Bad. Dead. That's what it's doing. Looks weird. But yeah, that is 2FH. That's basically the main CPU's program RAM right there. That guy is dead. The rest of them are good. I still have to pull the RAM off of the soundboard. I'll pull this RAM off of here and test it. And then, yeah. But this one's no good. Alright, everyone. We're going to fire this thing up. I've got it all put back together, and never mind the furnace, it's going to kick on. I just turned it up because it's kind of chilly out here. So I got it all put back together now. I replaced the capacitors and the voltage regulators up here. So that's all redone. Now I'm going to go ahead and fire it up. It's over on the big monitor. Once I plug everything in. Go ahead and fire it up. Now I'll kind of come over here to the monitor. Come down a little bit. Come up a little bit. And you'll notice there's no stars. Or the stars are just janky. They're not in the right spot. See, this looks okay. We got stars going down. But they will totally, now they're just down over in the corner. No stars. Okay. I'll try to coin it up. Try being the operative word. There we go. Now we'll let it kind of do its countdown, and you'll see there's no enemies. There's kind of some nonsense up over here. Weirdness. More weirdness. Weirdness. Now if you see something like this on your Star Wars game, this, I am quite sure, is a math problem. Now I'm going to put this thing into test. Okay, and I'm going to restart it. And it'll come up, it'll say NVRAM error because I take the NVRAM out of the board. So there's your NVRAM error. No big deal. But it says that I have no hardware errors. Or does it? Let me continue. Let me go to the math part and see if it gives me math errors. It does. We have matrix errors. So that's going to be our big issue. So I wonder if there's anything in the manual that will describe what that is. So we have a matrix problem. So that kind of narrows things down a little bit. I think I'm going to go ahead and look in the manual a little bit and see what it says about matrix errors. Alright, well, I was looking at the couple pages of the matrix circuitry, and I came to these guys, the instruction proms, and it's 4 bipolar ROMs. They're 82S137s. And I figured, well, before I do anything, I better dump these, and make sure they're good. So I loaded up those files, and I tested number 112, 113, and 110. They're all fine, but 111 is no good. Does not verify to the file 111. So that is probably going to be the whole issue. So I'm going to go ahead and burn a new 111, and I'll be back. Got my new ROM in the board right there. Old one, junk. And we're in test, and no matrix errors anymore. So let's take it out of test. And we should have our stars, and looks like we do. Stars. Alright. It's looking good. And let's go ahead and coin the thing up and put it into gameplay. And pull the trigger. And let it count down, and let's check out the gameplay. Alright, that looks good. Yeah, that looks good. Excellent. That's just how it should look. And we're going down into the trench. May the force be with you. Here we go. And it looks good. Okay, so now all we have to do is check the sound, put the soundboard up to it, check that out, and this one will be good to go. Alright, let me go ahead and get the soundboard hooked up. Okay, soundboard is hooked up, wired up. So let's go ahead and fire it up. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh boy. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. I think we got probably bad pokies. I don't know. Huh. Well, let's try putting it in test and see if we get... I don't know if it's going to do anything for test on the soundboard, is it? Yeah, we'll have to go through all this align the boxes stuff. Linear looks good. That's off a little. Yeah, it doesn't give you any information on the soundboard. That's kind of stupid, isn't it? Well, let's go ahead and eliminate pokies right off the bat. I can put 4 known good pokies in this thing. So let's do that and see what happens. Okay, I got 4 known good pokies in the board, and you can hear it's not working. So there's a good chance that all 4 of these pokies are good, which is awesome. There's something logically wrong on this, or it's got a bad CPU. It's possible. So I'm gonna have to dig a little further into this. I've put a new 6809 in it. I've put a new 6532 in it, and I started just kind of messing around. I could get music to come up a little bit ago by messing with this. Well, now it's game over. All right. The bottom line is there's connection issues on this board. Bad sockets, I believe. Because I was able to get music to come up by messing with this. So I'm going to continue to mess around with this, but I believe it's bad sockets. Okay, getting ready to replace the 2 Star Wars EEPROMs. Remember I said I could mess around with these and I heard music start up. And I inspected all of these sockets and they all look okay, except for these 2 just kind of do look not so great. They kind of pushed in a little bit. I don't think they're really terrible, but since with the, the EEPROMs that go into those need they don't work good with these sockets after a while. So I'm replacing those 2 and I flip it over. And remember, this was converted to Empire Strikes Back. This has been reconverted back to Star Wars original. What they did not do, and I tested this with my continuity meter, is those 2 lines are supposed to be pulled high. They reconnected them together okay, but they're not pulled high. So that's probably what's wrong with this. That's What is that? On a 2764. I don't know. I have to look at the pinout to find out what 28 is VCC. What is 26 and 27? I don't remember. But they need to be pulled high for this to operate properly. So that's probably why this wasn't working right. And I could fidget around with the ROMs, and I heard music start up at one point. So I think that it's I think it's just that. So I am going to replace these two sockets, and then I'll reconnect those 3 pins on each of these EEPROMs so that they're pulled high properly, and go from there. Alright, and that is how I fixed that. Just kind of solder blob the 3 pins together. They're connected to 5 volts on both of them. So that's it. New sockets. We'll repopulate this thing, put it all back together, and give it a shot. Alright, we're back together with the original Pokies sound, all of the original chips. And I did clean all of these other sockets. So I cleaned all the other sockets that looked okay, replaced these two, fixed where they weren't connected. And we're ready to give it a shot. I got it turned on. Let's see what we get. Ooh, I just heard old Obi-Wan. I heard Luke. We're counting down. Sweet. Now I will hook up the pots and make sure that the analog is working properly. And I'll do a little gameplay, shoot and maybe blow up the Death Star one time. Blow up the Death Star once and call it good.
Yahoo! You're all clear, kid.
Alright, I got my pots hooked up for the analog. And we'll come over here, set this on here. Just kind of move this around. So the analog works. We'll do a little adjustments here. No errors. Line up the boxes. We'll do that really quick. Alright. It's pretty good. That's good. Beautiful. Alright, let's go back to the crosshatch. Not that one, this one right here. And check our linearity. I don't know, I think it looks pretty good. Don't you? Maybe? I don't know, I guess right there maybe, I don't know. That's size. I don't know. To my eye, I guess that's okay. And let's just take it out of test. Turn the lights down and we'll play a game. And go blow up the Death Star. Focus for a second. Kind of maybe move a little bit. Okay. Oh, I need to hook up the Atari joystick for firing. Be able to fire. All right. Let's do this. Coin.
The force will be with you.
Yes, it will.
Always.
Thank you. Thank you.
Red 5 standing by. Red 5 will go in. Use the force. Yahoo! You're all clear, kid.
Lights on. Refocus.
Red 5 will go in. What can we do to increase the power? I lost our two. Remember, the force will be with you. Always.
All right. You know what I need to do is I need to put the NVRAM back in it and make sure it comes up with no errors. All right, let me do that. Make sure the NVRAM is good, and yep, I'll be back to finish this one up. Chip in, and it comes up no errors. Let's see what's going on. Yeah. It should coin up and oops.
The force will be with you.
Yeah, that works good.
Red 5 standing by.
That's it. NVRAM is good. This one's good to go. So what did we do here? All right. Reset. Okay. Yeah. I replaced these sockets. They just didn't look good. Same as this. Same as with this. These didn't look good either. And so I replaced these. I replaced this socket. Replaced a ROM here. Replaced the capacitors. I reflowed the solder on these connectors, both of these. Over here, I replaced the 2 voltage regulators and all of these caps. That's all I had to do to this board. I cleaned the edges on both of them. Replaced this RAM. Remember, it had a bad RAM. And over here, the 2 sockets. I cleaned the edge. Cleaned the sockets. I cleaned the board up really good, the sockets and the board. So looking good. So this one needs to run for 3 hours, and it is 7:30. So 10:30 tonight, this thing will be done. And I'll move on to the next. All right, guys. As always, thank you for watching. Another classic game saved. Remember, this one was dead as a doornail when we started on it. Didn't do anything. So, excellent. Another one ready to go. Well, yeah, we'll let it run for 3 hours. And thanks for watching. Thank you to all everyone who supports the channel and what I'm doing here on the regular at Patreon. I appreciate every one of you. And, all right, we'll see y'all on the next Classic Arcade Repair. Bye for now.